Hi, Omega Chaos here again with another real life deck profile, and this time I am finally showing my Atignister deck. So I wanted to make this deck for a while, but some of the cards were of course very high rarity, a little bit expensive for a casual deck essentially. And of course this deck archetype is used by Ai in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Reigns anime. It's basically the final antagonist. Of course, I really like that character a lot. So I guess let's go as deck. So of course, first the monsters. So I use triple Picari Atignister. This card, when it's normal or if this card is normal as +1, you can add any Ai spell or trap card from the deck to your hand. It's definitely really good search for your Ignistar Island, which is pretty much the most essential card in a deck, and also some other cards that support the deck. Definitely very essential card for this deck. Then a triple Chichi Atignister, another essential card for this deck, because of course if you normal special on this card, you can search for any level 4 lower Atignister from the deck. So that's definitely really nice. The secondary effect you're not going to use much, but can be useful if the Link Free Fire monster. Then one Toyon Atignister, which is pretty good, but of course mostly going to just used in some of the combos in the deck. But I don't think you really need any more than one, I think. Then two Bururu Atignister, which is of course the tuner of the deck, pretty good for of course synchro summons. And of course Wind Monster as well. Of course search with Cyber's Wicked from the deck as well. Then two Hiyari Atignister, which is pretty good because it's an extender and of course really good for ritual summoning and stuff like that. Then one Toshin Atignister, which of course is really good to search out your fusion spell, and of course another extender as well like Hiyari. Then one Kachiri Atignister, which is another pretty decent extender. So I think pretty nice also searchable with Hiyari Atignister as well. Triple Lady Debug of course as well, because it's a Cyber's base deck, so definitely very nice. And the last monster in the main deck is one Water Leviathan Atignister. Definitely a really nice ritual monster for this deck. Now let's see the spell cards. Of course I'm going to show the combo at the end of this video as well, the main combo at least. That's what spells. One Eyes Ritual, of course ritual spell of the deck, which is searchable with Hiyari Atignister. Then one I Love Fusion, of course the fusion spell for Atagnisters. That's a pretty nice ability, and of course searchable with Toshin Atignister. Then the key card of this deck. Without this card, this deck probably completely falls apart, and that is triple Ignistar Island, the field spell for the deck. And like I said, very essential. So essentially what this card does, if you control no monster in your main monster zone, you can spell summon one level 4 lower Atignister from your hand, but for the rest of the turn you cannot spell summon monster with the same original attribute by the effect of Ignistar Island, and also you cannot spell summon monsters other than Cyber's monsters. And if this card, even if this card leaves the field, and if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish one attack at this time to set it to your field. So also recycles itself, but of course the main effect is that you can just keep summoning Atignisters from your hand with different attributes. Of course, but you have to have, of course, no monster in the main monster zone. You have to only have monster in your extra monster zone, which is actually not that hard to do. So definitely very good card for this deck for sure. Then run two Idle Reborn, which is a really good extender and reviver for this deck. It also can recycle ice spells and traps as well. Definitely all around a pretty good card for this deck. Then of course I run triple Silent Mining, of course. It's a Cyber's base deck once again. It's definitely a really good searcher for this deck. Then of course that one single Terraforming for the last spell in the deck. So of course search out Ignister Island. Then for the traps, of course I use quite a lot of traps to protect your field essentially. So I use triple Swarm Judgment. Of course you know how amazing this card is, negates anything and protects your board. Then a triple Solemn Warning, of course pretty good as well, negate any summons. And of course triple Solemn Strike, of course mainly you want to just stop cards like Utopia Lightning and Boras War Dragon from running over your rival Cybers at Ignister, which is the main boss monster in the deck. And the last cards in the main deck are of course triple Compose Evacuation Device, also a really good card against against your opponent, cards like Boras War Dragon and Utopia Lightning. So that was the main deck. Now let's select deck. So first of course I use one rival Cybers. I think this is the main boss monster of this deck, and it's the only Link 6 in the whole game. So of course essentially it requires 3+ monsters with different attributes, and you can only control one rival Cybers at Ignister. The initial attack of this card becomes 1000 extra number of times of number of link materials used for this card. For this card's link summon. So most of the time it's going to be like 4000, but also of course it can be up to 6000. And it's of course it's unaffected by other card effects. It's essentially like Ultimate Falcon or Towers, whatever you want to like call it. And also once per turn you can destroy a monster on the field and then get a token. It's definitely a really amazing card for sure. But of course a single Kaiju Utopia Lightning up Boras War Dragon can get rid of it pretty easily. Although most players don't really run Kaiju anymore, and you can't stop Boras War and Utopia Lightning with your trap cards. So definitely really amazing card for this deck. Then I use one Fireball Dragon Dark Fluid. It's not as good in this deck like in pure Cybers, but it still can be like an alternative boss monster for this deck if you want to summon it. But the fact is that this deck doesn't have any protection to offer for Fireball Dragon Dark Fluid, so most of the time you're just going to go for a rival Cybers at Ignister, but still this can be an alternative option for this deck. Then I run one Topologic Cerberus, just in case if I need to get rid of the whole field. It's definitely really good. Then I run two Dark Templar at Ignister, very special card for this deck, of course. Of course, it's the main combo card in the deck essentially. It requires 3 monsters with different names, and also if a monster is possible to summon this card points to, you can then summon 2 level 4 lower at Ignisters to the zones this card is pointing to. So definitely really amazing card for sure. Then on Fire Phoenix at Ignister, pretty good, but most of the time it's just here as an option. Most of the time you're not going to need to summon it, but it's still pretty nice. Then I run one Transcode Talker, but of course it's a really good Cybers Link 3, really pretty nice, and of course in combination with Update Chamber, it's a really good OTK card as well. Then I use one Update Chamber. I think it's pretty good to be able to OTK your opponent easily if your opponent has a clear field. And all around a pretty nice card for this deck as well. Then I run one Cybers Wicked. Of course, I can search that one at Ignister Tuner from the deck. It's definitely pretty nice, I think. Then one Splash Mage. Of course, it's really good because of course it can revive your Cybers monsters from the graveyard. So that's definitely is very nice. But of course, they can't be Link monsters because of course you have to put them in defense position. Then one Link Disciple, just a simple Link 1 Cybers, definitely pretty good. But of course the main Link 1 you're going to use in this deck is of course one Link Kuriboh, which can negate trap cards by tributing itself. So that definitely can be pretty useful in some situations. Then the non-link Attack-Gnisters, one Earth Golem Attack-Gnister, the fusion monster. So pretty has pretty nice effects, so it can be definitely pretty useful in some situations. Then one Wind Pegasus Attack-Gnister, that is definitely pretty good because you can just destroy back row. It's definitely pretty nice to clear the field and go for a game. And then one Light Dragon Attack-Gnister, the last extra card, definitely pretty good as well. Of course, they can destroy monsters depending on the number of Attack-Gnisters you have. So that was that stack. So now let's show you the main combo for a stack that is actually pretty simple. Now let's show the main combo for a stack to summon out the Rival Cyvers Attack-Gnister. So for this combo we just need 2 cards, either obviously Picari Attack-Gnister and a Chichi Attack-Gnister, or some sort of access to Ignister Island and another monster and stuff like that. So for first, of course, we're going to normal summon Picari Attack-Gnister. So we are going to treat the Spell and Trap Zone as main monster zones, and we're going to treat this zone as extra monster zone. Of course, on the playmat, that the extra monster zone is actually cut off. Of course, in the normal zone, Picari Attack-Gnister, and search for Ignister Island. Of course, it is very important. And of course, I'm going to activate it. Then we're going to link summon into Link Kuriboh. Then of course, since we don't control monster in the main monster, so we can use Ignister Island effect to special summon a Chichi Attack-Gnister. We can of course search for an Attack-Gnister level 4 level Attack-Gnister monster. That is going to be Toyon Attack-Gnister. So got this in the hand. Then I'm going to link summon again. Into Cyvers Wicked. Then we're going to use Ignister Island's effect again to special summon Toyon Attack-Gnister. And of course, we're going to activate both Toyon Attack-Gnister and Cyvers Wicked. We're going to banish Link Kuriboh to search for Puroro Attack-Gnister. Then of course use Toyon Attack-Gnister effect to cycle my Picari Attack-Gnister, because I haven't spell summoned it yet with Ignister Highland, but of course I'm not sure how relevant it's gonna be. So now we can link someone again. Go for Splash Mage. Then we can possibly summon any of these monsters with the card. Doesn't really matter, I guess. So let's just summon this card for now, I guess. With this card we can send most of the kick to the graveyard. It doesn't matter, let's just send Hiyari Attack-Gnister. Then we can activate Splash Mage, because of course it can revive any Cyvers mostly in defense position. This guy is going to be Toyon. Then we're going to link summon into a Dark Templar Attack-Gnister. Of course, the main combo piece of the deck. Then of course, since we don't control any mods in the main master zone, you can spell summon Picari antagonist, because I haven't spell summoned it yet with Ignister Island. Then you activate Dark Templars effect to revive Chachichi and Pururu. It doesn't really matter too much, I guess. And then the final thing to do, of course, to summon out the rival Cybers. We're going to use Dark Templar, which is a dark attribute. Picari, which is a light attribute. Achichi, fire, and finally Pururu Ignister, which is wind. So 4 different attributes. And go link 6, of course, into your rival Cybers at Ignister. So this is the main first turn combo you are using in this deck. Of course, there are also Dark Fluid combos, but like I said, it's always more reliable going to the rival Cybers at Ignister first turn because of that protection. And of course, you have traps as well. You can also protect it very easily. So that was the main combo for this deck. So I hope you enjoyed this real life deck profile. For now, goodbye and Omerkios out.